Today we're going through 8 excellent available whiskeys that you can gift this holiday season or whenever you want. Welcome to Average Joe's Whiskey. My name is Joe. It's officially the holiday season and I am in the holiday spirit. You can tell because I have a tree behind me. Isn't that thing cute? Anyway, whiskey can be an excellent gift to give for the holidays, but it can also be a little bit intimidating to buy. After all, there's so many friggin' whiskeys on the shelf. How do you know which ones are going to be worth giving? How do you know which ones the recipient is going to enjoy? This list has got you covered whether you're giving to a whiskey enthusiast or somebody who's just starting out on their whiskey journey. There's something on this list for every person at every experience level and at every price point. This was not easy to do. I put a lot of thought into this and I think I did a really good job. But anyway, I got 8 whiskey gift ideas and we are going to go in order of price from lowest to highest. Starting off at $39.99, Russell's 10 year. Alright, so I'm not going to get into the laser codes, but if you happen to find a Russell's 10 year with the letters LLME on the back, that's an even better gift than the regular one. But regardless of the laser code, for $40 you get a 10-year-old whiskey from Wild Turkey. 90 proof means it's super easy to drink for people just getting into whiskey. And if it's a more experienced whiskey drinker that you're giving this to, this is a bottle that a lot of people like to keep on the shelf. So for under 40 bucks, you're not going to do better than a Russell's 10. Next up is a wheated bourbon that was released earlier this year, Bardstown Origin Series, High Wheat. So this bottle comes in at $49.99, 106 proof. I'm gonna pour a little sip of this just so I have something in my glass. But for $49.99, you really can't go wrong with this. It's 6 years old, mash bill's 53% corn, 39% wheat, and 8% malted barley. That is an extraordinarily high wheat mash bill, but that high level of wheat gives it a really unique flavor profile. It's a little bit grassy, a little bit earthy, but it's got a lot of those caramel notes that people tend to love in bourbons. Perfect proof point for bourbon lovers, and just a really delicious overall bourbon for under $50 from Bardstown. Next up is our first rye on the list, coming in at $65. This Bullet 12-year rye is friggin' delicious. So this Bullet 12-year rye is sourced from MGP. It sells for around $65. I'm gonna pour a sip of this one as well because I absolutely love it. This is another low proofer. This one's about 92 proof, which makes it perfect for beginners and enthusiasts alike. And even for people who don't necessarily love rye whiskeys, this one has so much flavor. The age on this one just gives it so much soft, sweet oak and vanilla. It's just a really delicious rye whiskey that you can get for a very reasonable price. To me, it's like a mint chip ice cream sundae. Definitely one of the best rye whiskeys that you can find easily on the shelf, pretty much anywhere, for a reasonable price. Next up, we got another $65 bottle that you can find anywhere, Woodford Double Oak. So this one comes in at 90.4 proof. This is another bottle that's super easy to drink for beginners, but it's also a go-to among whiskey enthusiasts. This is a bottle that I like to keep on the shelf all the time, that I go back to fairly regularly. It's just an absolutely delicious vanilla cherry bomb. And look at the color on this thing. This thing is friggin' dark, man. So Woodford Double Oak takes the regular Woodford Reserve and then it finishes it in a second heavily toasted barrel. It's one of the more popular double oaks on the market, but it always works great as a gift for the holidays or for any other gift-giving occasion. Next up is another double oaked bourbon. This one from Pursuit United. So this bottle came out earlier this year. Pour a little bit of this guy. This is a very unique double oaked. This tastes and smells completely different than any other double oaked whiskey I have ever tried. It's crazy. It's a crazy nose. It smells like vanilla cupcakes, like vanilla cupcakes with buttercream icing right there in the glass. It's unbelievable. So this bottle is also in that $65, $70 range, somewhere around there. Comes in at 108 proof, so a little bit higher than some of the others on the list, but that is a perfect proof for bourbon enthusiasts. Now I will say the distribution for Pursuit United is not great. It's not available all over the country. It is, however, usually available online. You can order this, and I would say that if you go and order it right this second, you have a pretty good shot of getting it by Christmas, depending when you're watching this. But Pursuit United, excellent bourbon, makes a great gift. Order it online if you got the time, although I believe their distribution's growing, so you may be able to find this on the shelf depending where you live. But definitely one of my favorites for the price on this list. Alright, so the next bottle is actually kind of a category of bottles. I'm talking about store picks. Store picks make excellent gifts, especially for whiskey enthusiasts, because they're all different. So for those who don't know, a store pick is basically when a store or a group purchases an entire barrel of whiskey from a distillery. So that barrel could have a different flavor profile than what you would normally find from that distillery on the shelf. Sometimes they are much, much better than what you would typically find. Sometimes they're not. It's a bit of a roll of the dice, but that's kind of what makes them a great gift. And there are a lot of excellent distilleries out there that do barrel picks. Russell's is always good, Old Forester's always good, Knob Creek, Sagamore, Barton 1792, all of these would make excellent gifts. So these are bottles that if you're buying for a whiskey enthusiast and you want to get something at a reasonable price, store picks are an excellent way to go. Alright guys, 2 more spots on this list. Next up is a craft brand that doesn't have great distribution but is readily available online. I'm talking about Kluke. So Kluke is a blended bourbon from Jonathan Maisano. This is their regular barrel proof bourbon. This is their toasted. They also make a rye, and everything I've had from Kluke has been phenomenal. Here, I'm gonna pour a little bit of this toasted here. So this bottle here is a batch 7. I believe they're up to batch 10 now. And I think they're up to batch 3 of the toasted. They are kind of expensive at $110, I believe. So this is one where you're really gonna have to like the person that you're giving it to. But I also feel that this is a bottle that a lot of whiskey drinkers just haven't tried. Maybe because of the price point, it's kind of hard to take a flyer on a bottle that's like over $100 if you've never tried it before. But I absolutely vouch for Kluke. Their whiskey's delicious. It's a blend of low rye and high rye. These come in at a little bit under 120 proof. Really, really delicious whiskey. And if you want to gift a bottle of whiskey to somebody that you like, Kluke is an excellent way to go. Man, it's just so well balanced. God, they really do a great job blending this. It's unbelievable. All right, guys. One more to go. All right, so last up on the list, and definitely the most expensive bottles, are these Bardstown Collaborative Series. So here on the right, we have the Bardstown Amroot Collaborative Series. On the left, this is the Bardstown West Virginia Great Barrel Company Collaborative Series. These are just 2 of my favorites. There are a lot of Bardstown Collaborative Series out there. And the reason I think they make excellent gifts is because they're really delicious, but they are expensive. These come in around $150, $160 each. Now, some of the older collaborative series, like this West Virginia Barrel Company, you can find this one marked down to like $100, sometimes even $80. But the newer collabs, like the Amroot here, you're pretty much stuck paying $150 to $160 for. Now, these Bardstown collabs, honestly, I think are amazing. Just amazing, amazing whiskey. However, because of the price point, people generally don't buy them. Like me, for example, I have these 2, but that's it. There's a bunch of other Bardstown collabs that I've been dying to try that I just haven't bought because they're too expensive. So if you're buying whiskey for somebody who you really like, who you're willing to spend $150, $160 on, get them a Bardstown collab. Use your judgment on which collab you think they would like. But honestly, all of the collabs that I have tried have been phenomenal. So the Bardstown Collaborative Series rounds out our list of whiskeys to purchase this holiday season. or for birthdays or just any situation where you want to give somebody a bottle of whiskey. All right, guys, I hope this list was helpful. I feel like there was truly something on it for every whiskey drinker at every experience level and at every price point. I think it's an excellent list, but before I break my arm patting myself on the back, I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, take a minute and watch another one. I'll see you next time.